Welcome to the Halloween edition of Roar Rundown. Things might be scary
on October 31st, but
things were not scary in Ouachita sports this week. And let's talk a little bit about it. First, though, we're going to start where we always do in football. And let's just say things were not scary for Ouachita, but if you're a Mule Riders fan of Southern Arkansas, you were shivering in your boots for two different reasons, actually. First of all, it was wildly cold and rainy on Saturday when Ouachita suited up to face off against Southern Arkansas. And also, it was scary if you were a Mule Rider fan because you lost 42-14. Just not a great day for the Mule Riders out of Magnolia, Arkansas, but one thing you have to give credit to is true freshman quarterback Trey Nichols. 201 passing yards in the game, 79 rushing yards. In only 3 games that he started, Nichols has been electric for this Ouachita team, and he's really given them new life following a 1-3 start this season. He also had 3 total touchdowns in the game, 1 through the air, 2 on the ground. And then also Chris Henley Jr., the running back for Ouachita, 95 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns as well. Ouachita got that ground game established, especially in the rain, and that's something that really gave the Mule Riders fits. Obviously, Southern Arkansas is going to come with a good rushing attack. Arquez Gomez with a big run to start the game, and then Hezekiah Harris, their quarterback, running for that initial touchdown to give them that 7-0 run, 7-0 lead to start the game. But then Ouachita going on a 42-point tear to close out the game. They win this 42-14. The only other score Southern Arkansas got was off a blocked punt that went in for the touchdown. That was with about 3 minutes left in the game. It had already been decided at that point. A.J. Jones, the wide receiver for Ouachita, 99 receiving yards in the game on 4 receptions. Joey Ortego really coming out in this one with 3 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, a pass breakup, and a blocked kick that prevented a Mule Rider field goal in the second quarter. This is the 4th straight win for Ouachita. 3 of those have come with Trey Nichols under center for Ouachita, the true freshman really coming out in the Great American Conference. Next game up, it's Northwestern Oklahoma State. The Rangers of Alva, Oklahoma coming to town for Senior Day. This is the last home game of the season for Ouachita, and the Rangers are 1-7 this season, picking up their first win against Southern Nazarene last weekend. And it's going to be interesting, this one. Ouachita obviously doesn't want to treat this one as an easy win, especially when you're a team that last season went against Southern Nazarene, thinking that was an easy win, and you lose at home on senior night. We'll see how the Tigers face off against running back Ezekiel Luna, 273 rushing yards this season for the Rangers, and then quarterback Caleb Deal leading the team in passing yards with 676 on the season. Next up for volleyball, the scary part of volleyball is having to come play at the Sturgis Physical Education Center, and that's exactly what Southern Nazarene had to face off against on Thursday night. They lose 3-0. Kaylee Thedford, 18 kills and 41 attempts. Riley Brazil, 11 kills and 14 digs. That was her 6th double-double of the season. We'll talk about number 7 in just a little bit. And Haley Fairchild and Courtney Hansen, both of them get 3 block assists apiece. Just really great defense up front for the Tigers. Now, we're going to move to Friday night. And AVCA, I'm just going to give you a quick shout out right now. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it this time because, I'm going to let you guys think, give you guys some time. But if you will come with me, American Volleyball Coaches Association, just come along with me and we're going to take a view into Friday night. Oklahoma Baptist comes to town. They're 3rd in the conference this season, and this is the first time they faced off against Ouachita. Ouachita goes down after losing set number 1 very closely. It was a 27-25 win for the Bison. Set number 2 goes to Ouachita. Set number 3, Oklahoma Baptist. And set number 4 goes to Ouachita. This forces a 5th set in the game. Ouachita goes down 6-1. Tigers battle themselves back, but eventually they go down 10-6. The Bison have 5 points to go before they take down the undefeated Ouachita Tigers and make them 10-1 on Great American Conference play. But the Tigers storm back and win set number 5, 15-12, behind some late heroics from Haley Fairchild, Emily Adams, Savannah Whitaker, Leah Gardner, and Riley Brazil. That's just 5 players. Haven't mentioned anyone else. This Ouachita team triumphs over their top offensive player, Kaylee Thedford. Not a great night for her. Only 3 kills in 31 attempts. Thedford just that could not get over the incredible block that the Bison had up front. But the Tigers triumph in 5 sets in an all-time classic at the Spec. 5 players with 10-plus digs in the game. Incredible defense on the back end. Kylie Kisgan with 35 digs. Yes, I mentioned that, with the libero Kisgan with 35. Courtney Hansen, 53 assists, 24 digs, and 6 kills, knocking on the door of a triple-double again. And then Savannah Whitaker. Like I mentioned her before, Kaylee Thedford not having a great night. Coach Frizz subs in Whitaker on that front line after Whitaker's mainly only played defensive specialist all season. And Whitaker goes for 9 kills and 12 digs. Crucial in that front line is the senior from Forney, Texas. And the Tigers move to 11-0 in conference play, 21-3 on the season. AVCA, it's getting kind of personal at this point. We'll see what happens as this week, Southern Arkansas comes to town on Thursday. The Tigers get a bit of a break. Only 1 game this week before next week going on the road to Searcy, but we'll preview that one next week. Next up, moving on to men's soccer. Northeastern State came to town on Wednesday, and Ouachita loses that one 2-0. The Tigers gave chase and fight for a while, but it just eventually came down to Northeastern State outlasting the Tigers and winning that one 2-0. Now on Saturday, Ouachita picks up the 2-1 win on Senior Day. Credit to Cody Tice and Luke Grigsby for the 2 goals in that one to prevail over Dallas Christian. Coming up this week, it's going to be a hard one for the Tigers as Fort Hays State comes to town on Thursday. Fort Hays State, the first team in the conference to qualify for the conference tournament. Meanwhile, Newman knocking on the door of the tournament as well. Both of these games are at home, so you can tune in on the Ouachita Sports Digital Network. Next up, moving to women's soccer. It was an up-and-down week for the Tigers as a 2-1 loss to Southern Nazarene characterized Wednesday. You go on the road to Bethany. This is their first road loss of the season. But then on Saturday, the Tigers went right back to regular form. 4-1 win over Oklahoma Baptist. Really, the Bison came to town on Friday and Saturday, both losses. Not a great weekend in Arkadelphia for Oklahoma Baptist, I'll give it that. But McKenna Wright against Oklahoma Baptist, 2 goals for her. Olivia Erskine and Maddie Banker with the other 2. This team is starting to become dangerous. They're 4th in the Great American Conference, and they've got a big week coming up. Northwestern Oklahoma State, 2nd in the conference right now, coming to town on Thursday. We'll have an OSDN triple header on that day. And then on Saturday, you've got Southwestern Oklahoma State, the number 1 team in the conference that comes to town, and they play that one at noon. So it's going to be a hard week for the Tigers, but we'll see if they can prevail. They beat Northwestern Oklahoma State on the road last time they played, and Southwestern, it was a 0-0 tie. So we'll see how that one goes on Saturday. Now moving to cross country, I do apologize. I forgot to mention what was coming up this week, but it was a pretty good performance for both the men's and women's side at the Great American Conference Championships in Monticello, Arkansas. Both for the women, they got 2nd place in the conference. Arkansas Tech barely edges out the women, and Kate Nachtigal and Allie Hilkema, both all GAC first team runners. So great performance for them. The men's team gets 4th in the conference. East Central prevailed in Monticello, but Caleb Greenwich, GAC Freshman of the Year, Ouachita is going to get him for 3 more seasons. And so it's going to be interesting to see how he improves under the tenure of the Tigers. Now moving on to swimming. Truman State came to town on Friday, and both teams absolutely cruised to a win. For the men's team, Tyler Andrus, 938 in the 1,000-yard freestyle, absolutely demolishing the competition was the senior, and Sam Ragsdale just back to work once again, winning the 100-yard freestyle, but not just by a little bit. Ragsdale won the 100 freestyle in a time of 44.84. If any of you guys can guess who the 2nd place person was, Drake Durbin from Truman State was 2nd place. He went a 48.2. So let's keep in mind that's 4-second difference between 1st and 2nd. Ragsdale, absolute domination. Tigers finally getting the ability to throw on tech suits and actually get a little bit more tapered or rested for this meet. And they really, really went to town on the Bulldogs. And now for the women's side, just plenty of other names. Anna Phelps, obviously the 500 freestyle win, only winning that one by 2 seconds. Meanwhile, the diving went just about as well as you could expect for the men. And just across the board, great performances. And before heading on to the plays of the week, we want to thank our generous sponsors, Capital Technology Group.
At Capital Technology Group, we make your technology our priority. Our team of experts can become your outsourced IT department, solving problems even before you know about them. We provide and maintain everything from servers and network infrastructure to printers and digital copiers. As a family business with over 80 years of history in Little Rock, you can trust Capital Technology Group to be your business technology partner. If you're ready to get your IT in order, visit captg.com and sign up for a free consultation.
And thank you once again, Capital Technology Group, for your generous sponsorship of Roar Rundown. And now let's move on to plays of the week. First, for football, there's plenty to mention, but I think my favorite of the game has to go to Bo Baker's 40-yard touchdown to open up the scoring for Ouachita on Saturday afternoon. Baker caught the pass about 10 yards away from the end zone, but then he takes the hit and still goes on to score, and Ouachita would eventually go on to score 5 more touchdowns in the game. Next, for volleyball, I've got to go this comeback from down 10-6 in the 5th set. And I say comeback because there's multiple plays that came to it, but just an incredible finish and then an incredible block to finish out the game and score the Tigers' 15th point, eventually sinking the Bison. And for men's soccer, I've got to go with Luke Grigsby's game-winning goal to take down Dallas Christian on Saturday. Now for women's soccer, our play of the week has to go to Maddie Vanna. The goal assisted by both Isabella Savater and Kaylee McKinley. Vanna shot that one from outside the box and scored to give the Tigers a 2-0 lead and eventually the 4-1 win. And then for swimming, and we're not going to play the full clip here, but I have to go back to Sam Ragsdale. The 44.8 in the 100 freestyle, absolute 4-second domination in a race that's only 4 lengths of the pool. Sam Ragsdale, you once again, for 2 weeks in a row, are our swimming play of the week. The rest of the swim team, we'll see what you guys bring next week. Thank you guys so much for watching the Roar Rundown this week. Make sure to tune in to our OSDN broadcasts as we've got plenty. On Thursday, it's going to be a triple header, women's soccer, men's soccer, and women's volleyball. And I'm going to try to do all 3. Now, please pray for my voice and just the fact that I can get through all of it. But it's going to be a fun one as all 3 of these games look like they can go down to the wire. And especially women's volleyball back in action at 6 p.m. against Southern Arkansas. Then on Saturday, it's another triple header. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this one, though, as we've got a noon start for women's soccer against Southwestern Oklahoma State. 1 p.m. is senior day for football. The festivities for that one will start around 12:30, so make sure to tune in on OSDN for that one as Northwestern Oklahoma State comes to town. And then, following the women's soccer broadcast at 2 p.m., men's soccer takes on Newman. So you've got three broadcasts on 2 different days, making 6 broadcasts on the week. Make sure to tune into all of them for some more Ouachita sports content. But for now, this has been Isaac Bourne. The guy behind the camera is Josiah Wooten. And thank you guys so much for watching the Roar Rundown.